school. It was the one day I wanted to go to school. And this kid come through the lunch line, or we're standing in line after recess, actually is what it was. And this day, he missed me. He didn't pick on me. He picked on the kid behind me. And he walked by. I'm like, that's what I thought. And he turned around. He acted like he was going to hit me. And I reared back with that cast. Oops, sorry.
Don't break Ross's arm now. I know you're trying to
Ross
fight. I see what you were doing to me. You see the way you just clinched up on me? Dude, why do you keep doing this?
Leave our kid alone.
Hey, but
Don't
anyway,
do it. Papa, no. Gosh, you dork. You are a dork.
Can't make this up.
All right. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast. And I am Shay Newbert. And today we have two special guests in the podcast studio. We have Mr. Brian and Christina Farrell. Wow, that was tongue-tied there.
Hey, Shay.
And I appreciate you both being here. We've been all over the place with planning this thing. So I do appreciate you both. Brian and I have a show together this weekend, and we're going to kind of go through the mystery that is Brian Farrell and also the beauty that is Christina down at the end. Brian is also a stand-up comedian. Brian's, can I say suffer? Is that okay to say?
I guess.
Suffers from has been diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. DID. It's dissociative.
You got me screwed up. Dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'll ever get that word right.
That's why I say multiple personality
disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I feel like we could make a song about it, like DID. Yeah, you know me. Like they have that song. Like
Make it cool.
Yeah, we could, and you're gonna sing it.
We can do a Weird Al Yankovic version of it.
Oh, I can dig that as well. Hey, and Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, all those things. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And honestly, looking at myself right now, I look like your child. I look like you two's child. Don't I look like I look like I'm looking up at mom and dad?
You're young enough to be.
I would actually love, dude, I think that would be so cool if you guys were my mom and dad.
My oldest son is 32.
32, so older than me by a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My youngest is 29.
29. Okay, so I'm right in the middle. I'm the middle child.
Well, my oldest is actually 36.
36. Okay, so how old are you?
51.
You're 51, and how old are you?
I just turned 50.
Okay.
We don't have kids together.
I thought you were way younger than him. No, just because he looks like
I look like shit. I know.
Yeah. You look like a geezer, dude.
I don't. Forrest Gump.
I'm so sorry for calling you Forrest Gump.
He's been caught on fire. He's rolled vehicles, got in car accidents, and he's got a lot of trauma.
Yeah. Well, and we're going to talk about some of that, and we're going to go back and forth from a lot of things here. But the very first thing that I do want to say is the other night, the day before the tomato show, when they did the trial run with the tomatoes, I was terrified for you. I don't mean this in a way. I just know that when you get overwhelmed with stuff, you don't like the nervousness state of things. And so when you crushed, when you killed riffing and playing, man, that was awesome, which also brought me back in my mind to a while back, you had to do stand up with the lights off.
Yeah.
And you did. Everyone told me that you did really well that day as well. Yeah. So maybe getting out of your comfort zone is actually where you're the best.
It is. When I plan things, I always plan everything anyway because I don't like to be surprised. But it never happens that way, which is good because usually it's bad stuff that I plan. And then, but I'm ready for it. And then I don't react that way to it because I've already planned through it. But when I get shocked with something like on stage, for some reason, I just roll with stuff really good. And I don't know why.
Well, maybe it's because you're good at stand up. Like, quit beating around the bush and being nervous about things. Like, I mean, it was very odd to watch you flick the switch after that first tomato came at you. And then I was sitting beside James Draper and I was laughing. And, you know, it's hard for comedians to laugh at each other when we can repeat each other's jokes, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and so especially when you started saying silly stuff in between, I knew that wasn't part of your set and it was playful. Man, I was so proud of you that day. That was awesome.
Thank you. You know, I'm going to have to credit. I always get you and his name mixed up.
Zach Vaughn.
Zach Vaughn.
Well, I'm a
With
bit
lot.
more handsome than him, but
Well, yeah, but
do
he
you
does
agree?
have a better.
Do you agree with me, Christina?
Yeah, you both are actually equal handsome.
I'm just
but
a
he has
little bit
better-
better, right?
But he has
You do shine.
Okay, thank you.
but he has a shit-eating grin when he's on stage,
Yes.
and it almost makes me blush.
Oh, he does. He does have he has a blushing face, and it's almost cute when you see him like do well or when he does that smile. It's almost like a really cute thing that he does,
Yeah,
right?
it's like I gotcha.
Yeah, and you have a credit, like you've said, a lot of confidence came from Zach. And
Yeah, I had my first guest spot at the comedy bar
Mm-hmm.
in Dubuque, and we're sitting in the green room, and he says, "You need to stop telling people that you're new."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, yeah," but he goes, "No." He goes, "You go in there with that negativity, and it ruins your set. You need to just go in there. Those people out there don't know who you are. They don't know it's your first time or your 100th time. You go out there, be a superstar, just kill it." I mean, he was nice about it. I'm saying it kind of a little, more dry, but he was very nice about it. And that night on my way home, I was thinking about it, and I was like, duh. And then the next time I went up, actually the last 6 sets that I've had have been great. I've stumbled a little bit, but I didn't even notice it because, man, Zach just set me into this direction, and I get that from a lot of the comedians. I always listen to what you guys tell me. But he really just hit something with me. It hit a nerve, and man, I thank him to death for that one. I thanked him like 5 times now. He's probably like, dude, stop, chill.
I know. I went up to him and talked to him today about it when I was like, "Hey, Brian really credits you for like you did a lot for him that day." Like, and he goes, "I know he won't ever stop telling me, and I don't like when people tell me that stuff."
I don't mean to, and I'll stop. But it was important to me that he knew that it's hard to reach me, and when you do, it shocks me, and I really appreciate it. Because I have a lot of issues, and I spent most of my life just like on autopilot. So to reach me is pretty impressive.
Yeah, but also you are a really easy guy to talk to at the same time. Like, I know that maybe reach you on a deeper level, that's different. But to talk to you, I was confused the first couple times I talked to you. It was just because I'm like, is this guy fucking with me or is he a dick? I can't tell. And then the next time you walked up to me and you were like the kindest guy ever. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this guy. But wait, what? Why did he say all those things to me last time? And then so he's like, no. He actually I don't know. It was probably how long you been doing stand up?
January 22nd. At the Renwick was my first.
Oh,
day.
okay. So yeah, within the past year. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It couldn't have been over a year ago. But I think that's a very cool thing about you. And now I will put this out there for anybody listening who doesn't know what your story is. You had a brain injury, and after it got so that your DID got so bad that Yeah, well, like you literally have conversations with yourself. You have four different personalities that you know about, and all of this happened because now what? And something with an I-beam and like something fell and ricocheted.
Well, the DID actually started when I was younger from a lot of trauma.
Oh, it started before the injury.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wasn't really. I've been misdiagnosed so many times that I didn't want to
Very
listen
common.
to anybody. And
Christina, will you slide your mic over just a hair to the right and then 8 or a little bit more, like maybe like 17 hairs, like 17 of your hairs. You got that like real thick, yeah. You got that long, beautiful hair. Like it kind of reminds me of like a horse mane.
How's that?
That's perfect.
All right.
There we go.
But so
I love horsehair. Did you know horsehair is what makes all like the strings for
Guitars.
cellos and violins and stuff like that?
Yes.
this is mermaid hair.
Oh,
When she's
I know what
on
you're
top,
doing.
yeah.
You're doing some flirty shit right now.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yes.
I can't get over it, dude. I was like, I'm gonna beat me, but I'm marrying this woman. I got my own mermaid.
Your own grown-up Ariel.
yeah. You know that whole the DID I knew about, but I didn't really.
Accept
Also,
it.
being bipolar, I know more than most people anyway. That's the mindset. You know, you think you're smarter than everybody anyway, so you don't listen. And I thought I remembered my entire life, but come to find out, I only remember probably 30% of my life. And that's because whenever you switch alters, you don't know what's going on with that other person.
But if you have 4, if you only remember 30%, that means you've lived over a normal life. So you've lived 120% of a life. Do you see? See, if you say that 30% consumes each, well, 30% would only be 33.3. So if you have a fourth one that goes over the top, you've lived over a normal life.
Well, actually, I can explain that one to you after in a little bit, but they think that the normal Brian Farrell is autistic.
Okay.
That's who was picked on his whole life. That was me, obviously, but I was picked on and up until 6th grade, and they think somewhere in between there, between someone setting a garage on fire with me in it, me watching my neighbor get murdered when I was in 3rd grade. I blocked all those things out and all the abuse that I went through.
So
I
trauma.
created somebody
Trauma.
else, which they believe was bipolar. So I give them names, so I know who the hell's who I'm talking to, or not really talking to, because I can't talk to them. But so I got Asperger
Yeah, you do.
man,
I engage.
Asperger man, bipolar boy, me, and then number 7, which is my 4th personality. His
Right.
name's number 7. I actually have 4, but I joke about 16 because there's 4 emotions that I have to pay attention to on a daily basis, and that's 16. But actually, I was not aware of it and not convinced until the brain injury, because I was videotaping myself to learn how to read and write again. And when that happened, I saw the video and I'm like, I didn't say that. I would never say that out loud, And then the doctors are like, we need to talk. So,
Christina, which one do you most enjoy having intercourse with out of those?
The autistic one is more compassionate, loving, caring, and
Which one's the freaky one?
Number 7.
Number 7, dog.
He's a kinky.
I'm going to need an inhaler after that one.
Yeah, but it's not a. It's
Does he like come in like rip his shirt off and like fire a little bit on him? Like,
It's not that animated, but
oh, okay.
the triggers. I mean, it doesn't happen like whenever he wants. So you have to deal with when it is happening. Like who do you have, and how to deal with them. Because if it's number 7, he's mad and he's enraged and he's upset and he's trashing shit and he's
I wanna
punching
kill.
and he's angry. Then you have to treat
No.
him.
No, that was
Listen, I've seen him. Remember at pool the other day?
Yeah.
And when he kept clenching his fists at me, and
I wasn't clenching.
Yes.
You kept saying that, so
I
I'm
was
like,
just gonna give you the pool table because I was getting scared.
Yeah, so you have to know when to distract him and redirect, and get him just distance him from what's making him angry.
which
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
But
Because when I'm pissed off and I want to murder the planet, I'm fantasizing about how I'm going to do it, and she wants to interrupt it and talk about bunny rabbits and candles.
Well, that's that's a way better option than murdering anything.
Yes.
I know,
Yes.
and that's what
And
she
then he
has to
doesn't
do.
remember going through that situation, so I wait for him, and then, hey, baby. It's just like,
Just like a snap out of it. Here, Christina, I'm also. Can we take your mic
want me to
up?
sit on his lap?
No, if we just take your mic up, I hear you spin the middle part, and then you'll just lift it up. It's just you're coming in a little bit quiet.
All right. How's that?
Way better.
All right.
Perfect. So now, does that ever like make you angry at the bunny?
Oh no, but, animals and wildlife. I don't know. I'm such a sweetheart. I know that, and I'm so soft-hearted that it doesn't take much to get me calmed down now. And it's usually the rabbits.
He's got a therapy bunny.
I do have a therapy
And you should
bunny.
get one of those. Have you heard of those? Like, they're like, I'm gonna say this word super bad, but sex toys.
Yeah.
But they're called like the rabbit. They get like the ears. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I used to have a therapy fish. You want to hear what happened to him?
Oh, good
Oh
Lord.
my god! Wait, if are you talking like a full body pillow fish?
No, he's
No.
talking about a real life.
Oh,
pet
okay.
fish.
Give it to me.
I was
okay.
in a
A
middle
real
of a-
life fish?
I was in the middle of a divorce, and she came over and saw I had a fish tank, so she got me some goldfish to acclimate the tank. And like 2 days later, while my ex was moving out, this crazy bitch went and got some other fish. They're called Oscars, and put them in the tank, and they ate her goldfish.
Oh,
And I'm like, all right, so I'll take care of this. And
it's
she's
a
like,
pretty wicked move.
and she's like, mind your own business. I got this. I'm like, okay, whatever. I have no idea what I'm getting involved
She
with.
put piranhas in there.
She did.
You did?
She put piranhas in there. I come home and there's
Psychopath. I love it.
there's bones at the bottom of the tank. There's gold flakes everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
it looks like a glitter bomb.
Oh
went
my
off in
God.
this. It's a 75-gallon tank, so that's a big tank. And and then
you get in that
so I'm like,
aquatic
this is,
environment.
but I'm like, this is over with. Well, my ex went and got a big red tail catfish and put him in there, ate the piranhas, and then
Oh
that,
my god.
that's right. And that weekend it was my birthday, so we're having a party. I couldn't find anybody. I go in the house, and her and 3 of her friends are sitting
They're all in the tank.
They're they're in the living room with their chairs and their beers, and they got the fish tank in there, and they caught the fish, and then they ate him.
Oh my god.
So what I'm
Catfish
saying
bad.
is, don't get a fish tank if you want a therapy
No,
animal.
what I'm saying is I'm treading lightly with both of you in here right now. I will never get on your bad side. For such a sweetheart, like of a person, and I'm not saying that, I mean, sweet people can sometimes, really have that
Dark
dark
side.
side to them. Like, and clearly you have that. I met this one woman at one point. She was like one of the nicest people ever. And somebody was messing with her kid. Dude, this woman showed up with a gun. I was going to kill. And everybody knew that this woman was so sweet that they literally let her walk away. I take it was 17 years ago, but they let her walk away after she pulled a gun out in public because her kid was being bullied. Like,
I pulled a gun out of my holster. I shouldn't have, but somebody ran over my dad's fishing pole.
oh,
On purpose.
Like, listen, you're getting quite petty here.
She did. I get a phone call that she's in jail.
Wait, how old are you?
She was like,
That was my bachelor party photo. I had my numbers.
Okay.
I got arrested.
Well, did you get in like trouble?
Well, I
bitch
got
took a
probation.
gun for a while.
I had probation.
Well, you know what? Sometimes, maybe that fishing pole, it means more.
What in all defense, though, the guy did say he was going to his truck to get his gun.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
okay.
yeah.
really-
And then he threw something in my face and punched me. So
Yeah. Then you should have. Yeah. Then that should have
But
been.
she did go to jail.
Did he?
no, I went to jail for.
And he was drinking and driving the boat
Yeah.
with his family in it.
He was coming up Marquette boat ramp, and he was coming up the ramp, and my dad has 12-foot poles, and he ran over my dad.
Those good. Those are good genetics.
Yeah, and he
Come on,
Gotcha.
pops! Don't leave me hanging here.
pounded him. He ran over my dad's pole. My dad's pole went into the Mississippi River, and that's something I bought. My dad was like a 200 reel on that pole, and it was sentimental to him. So I'm like, messing with my dad.
But her dad is like a sweetheart
Yeah.
too.
Good.
I hate it.
Good.
He's so
He's
nice.
my best friend.
They're like fighting the Force and the dark side. They're like Anakin and Luke and the Skywalkers. Maybe you're Christina Skywalker. Do you remember the guy who got in trouble for noodling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, he was a homeless man, and he was noodling out of the Mississippi River,
Yes.
and he was catching, whenever he caught something, he would take it off onto the beach, cook it, and eat it, because he didn't have food. And then the police officers came, arrested him, gave him a ticket. And this guy was like, dude, this is my only source of food. And then over the course of the next 2 weeks, a ton of people donated money, donated all kinds of things for this homeless man. And the very first thing that this guy did was he gave back. He was giving it to his friends at the shelters. He was giving it to all these other people. And I think those are the type of really great people out there. You see even you will take your dark side of, a fish and pole and goldfish, but that story, sometimes when people get that there's two ways people can go when, awful things happen. I guess there's three ways. When awful things happen. They can either become mean, they can either become non-existent, or afraid. And and so I do appreciate when people step up for what they think is right, and they're brave, and sometimes it's hard to be brave and speak out about things. If you look at our world today, it's so difficult for people who have been affected by sexual violence or domestic violence, or there's so many layers and levels. People have been mistreated throughout the history of time. So when you see people stand up for what they believe in, what's right, as and it's not like the things that you were doing isn't necessarily it's not petty. Someone telling you that they're gonna go get a gun, or someone someone killing fish and stuff. It's just so it's silly stuff. But don't mess with the wrong person too. That's
I guess I wouldn't have behaved the way I did if I didn't see the look on my dad's face of disappointment, and he's very innocent and he's very simple, and he would let it go. And I'm like, I'll be damned if I'm going to let this drunk take something valuable from my dad.
It is weird and complex. See, especially in our world today, you can get in trouble for anything at any time. Right. And it's so fast. If somebody spits on you or says that they're gonna, let's just say something awful here, and if someone at the bar says, "I'm gonna rape your wife," and that's so horrible, and all you want to do is beat the shit out of this guy. But you have to remember those consequences, because he's going to get off the hook, and you're going to be sitting in jail and now prison, because it's a felony to fight at a bar.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, it's a felony now. It's classified as a felony. And so, see, when I was younger, I got bullied a lot. I did, even though I was a big athlete. I was a captain of the football team. I was all these different things. But I got bullied so much as a younger kid by the much older kids. As an 8th grader, I was getting bullied by seniors in high school. And all this stuff, I'd get softballs whipped at me and stuff like this. And people don't think that this is a real story. And yes, it was. I got bullied for stopping bullying. See, my high school was pretty awful with some of the ways that they bullied kids. They would bully kids make a freshman walk around with the senior's dick in their hand. They pinned down a kid and they rubbed their nuts on his face. And these aren't just things where it's just bullying. These are things that are going to be traumatic in the long run for these people. Mm-hmm. And so I really always wanted to. I wasn't strong enough then to be the voice of reason, but I would try to stop it. And I would, because the way I should have stopped it is going to people who could actually stop it, and then I would face more bullying and stuff like that. People, he's a narc, he's this or that. And at the same time, a lot of people didn't realize, even though I wanted to stop this bullying too, I was going through the fact that I was being molested as a young boy by one of the most powerful figures from the town I was from. And so then I had to wear the weight of both of those things. So the one thing that I tried to do and adapt to was becoming smarter than everybody else. Like I always, whenever I was faced with like confrontation, even though I used to be a professional power lifter, could deadlift 800 pounds, squat 800 pounds, bench 500 pounds, I still would try to outsmart people in the way I retaliate. I would do things in a way like I just watch and listen and dig deep, like almost like I guess like a Dexter, which I'm not promoting you're killing the world, but
I don't watch that show for a
I
reason.
was so methodical with the way that I would think about things is I know I need to win. And my way to win is embarrassing this person. And I need to figure out how to embarrass a person because honestly,
That's effective.
it's 100 times more effective than if I would have fought people. You know, like the one time I ever fought a kid, I punched him in his face. He went backwards 4 feet, hit his head against a tree, and blacked out. And I laid there with that boy on my lap, begging for him to wake up, begging for him to wake up. And and I felt highly embarrassed over that moment. That I had just punched a kid. I was 160 pounds, and this kid was 110. Now I know that if you have martial arts training and all this training and stuff, you know the size of the man doesn't matter. It does when you're a little kid, you know, like.
Right.
But no, so I mean, and like, so going back to your story as being a kid, then you said that you were bullied. And in what types of ways were you bullied, and how did you put up your walls and defenses? Like,
Well, a lot of it, I was made fun of for some of the past mental abuse from one of my dad's girlfriend's kids. Well, two of her kids. Because one of my dad's girlfriends, she would make us drink a lot of water if we went to bed, piss the bed. Then we'd have to eat our breakfast with our underwear up against our cheek so we could smell our pissy underwear.
oh,
And they would tease me about
trauma.
that stuff and tell
More trauma.
yeah,
and they would tell the kids at school that, and they would just make fun of me, and and then they would pick on me because I would never hit back. But they did not realize I was kind of autistic, or on that spectrum. So I didn't hit back because my dad told me that if I ever got in a fight, he'd beat me up. It wasn't because I didn't want to fight. So this kind of stuff happened. Well, example, in 3rd grade, I had a broken arm. We were playing out in the park, and I broke my arm. And this kid kept hitting my arm and my cast. And I was like, Dad, I said, this guy won't stop. I told the teachers. They told me to quit being a baby. But it actually hurt. I mean, he got a broken arm. And he would punch my elbow, and that's what was disconnected. And my dad's like,
damn,
well, you know what?
Mama's a champ. Can we hook up Mama with
She
another
is.
drink down there?
She'll
dude?
just take mine, and then I think that I'm drinking them.
Don't give her your warm ass shit.
We'll get to this story later, but that's
There's a
funny. She does this to
story.
me everywhere. But this, my dad's like, you know what? He got tired of it, like I was being a sissy. He goes, you know what? I don't know what to tell you. Just smack him upside the fucking head. And I'm like, out the door I went, out of his bedroom, and I hid in my bedroom all night long because there was no way he was taking that back. He just gave me
It's
permission.
a directive. So
I couldn't.
You take directive.
Whatever. I wanted to do it.
You tell him now do these. If you tell him a directive, he follows.
Which
Oh,
means
yeah.
if you give him permission, he's
It's
going
on.
for it.
It's on.
Yeah.
Dude, I was wagging my
be
tail
careful.
all night long. And I was like, dude, can we go to school? Can we go to school? It was the one day I wanted to go to school. And this kid come through the lunch line, and or we're standing in line after recess, actually, is what it was. And this day, he missed me. He didn't pick on me. He picked on the kid behind me. And he walked by. I'm like, that's what I thought. And he turned around. He acted like he was going to hit me. And I reared back with that cast. Oops, sorry.
Don't break Ross's arm
I
now.
know,
No, I
it's
know
like-
you're trying to
Ross
fight.
was- he was-
I see
he
what
was
you were doing.
grabbing
You
me.
see the way you just clinched up on me? Dude, why do you keep
I
doing
did not.
this?
Leave our kid alone.
Hey, but
Don't
anyway,
do it.
I,
Papa, no.
but I ran back, dude. And I cracked that kid upside the head so hard, blood came out of his head. And they called my dad into school. And they're like, what? Well, they said, why did you do it? And I said, well, he kept hitting me and you guys wouldn't do anything about it. So my dad told me to do your job. So I smacked him upside the head. He's like, but did your dad tell you to hit him upside the head? I said, yeah. And my dad, they called him in. He goes, well, yeah, I did tell him. But, I didn't think he was going to do it. Yeah, here I got blood all over my cast. I was like, I was ready to go back out there again.
But that's a brave thing to overcome too. A lot of people to never stand up for themselves, and that's another thing that our day, our world today, does prove. Right, like people can stand up for themselves, and you do have a voice, even when a lot of people try to silence you in ways that, they can really bring you down for the rest of your life. If you don't ever speak up, or you just take shit your whole life,
Right.
you're always going to take shit your whole life.
Right, but it was never that way for me, though. See, that was just because I was told by my authority, my dad, I couldn't.
But if you're being bullied, you're taking it.
I'm taking it because I was more afraid of my dad.
But that's
It's
still
still
taking
taking
it.
it. Oh, dude.
Just because it's not from one end of the
Yes.
spectrum, you're getting it from the other.
But the other people got it because in 6th grade, the same thing happened. I got beat up again, and my grandma was like, you know what? If you come home tomorrow with a bloody nose, you and I have a problem. Because I got beat up for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, Dad said I couldn't hit or he'd beat me up. She goes, I'll deal with your dad. You go take care of those kids tomorrow.
Damn.
Well, the next day, my dad runs over because someone told him I was getting beat up. This kid never even touched me. His face was just shattered with blood. His nose was broken. And Dad's like, hey, we got to go. He thought I was when he spun me around, he thought I was a mess because he's like, Brian don't know how to fight. I just had blood spots all over me from him.
Uh-huh.
And my dad's like, we got to go to the dentist. We're leaving. I'm like, no, Dad, they're next. I had 12 kids standing in the line. Every
Oh,
kid.
you're going to fight everybody.
Well, yeah, make them take numbers, man.
Damn, dude.
My grandma gave me permission. This is happening.
Damn, dude, you're the original Fight Club, bro. Dude,
this
you
was
started
happening.
this shit way before
Yeah.
Brad Pitt
Oh,
and
man,
Edward Norton.
Yeah. That's,
Oh.
no, man, I love.
If you had to pick one comedian, and you have to answer it, that you just want to hit, like just pop them in the face, who would it be?
Actually, I don't dislike any of the comedians.
No,
No,
yeah.
not local. It's like in the movies.
Oh no! I'm talking local.
Yeah,
I'm getting juicy here.
You know,
No,
everybody-
it's not because you don't like them. It's just like maybe they're just too good at stand up. You're just like, oh, I just want to.
No, because I
break their
look up
nose.
to him. I actually don't. I don't.
Mine's
dislike
Austin
anybody.
Ingalls.
He likes
You know
Austin.
what? I do. But
Oh, I
you know
love
what?
Austin.
Here's
Austin's
the
one of my
thing.
best
Like,
friends.
I think he says a lot more about Austin
What about
and
Colin?
you and Colin.
Wait, no, do
Well,
you
no,
wanna-
talking about.
You
would
say
be-
a lot of good things.
Well, I talk about Zach a lot. You, Leslie Mitchell.
You're trying to turn this into a sweet thing. I just want you to pop
No.
one comedian in the nose. Mine would actually be Ben Woodfield. I love Ben, but just
You know.
You got the autistic Brian today, so I don't know if you're
Yeah,
gonna get that
all
answer.
right. You don't answer the question. Say me.
I can't because
Just say
I
me.
would never hit
It'd probably
you.
be
No.
himself.
No.
Yeah, there's no
Depending
shit.
on which conversation he's having with himself.
You know, I don't know. I guess if I wanted to fight anybody, just because I wanted to learn something about myself, it'd probably be Papa Crunk.
Oh,
I would love to see how he would.
that is the greatest answer. I'll take it.
His
Because
ass whooped.
I want a challenge.
Let's put a picture of Papa Kronk right
Yeah,
here.
there we
okay.
go.
Think.
Yeah,
Oh, that
because
is
when
so
I wake
funny.
up, I just want to be able to tell you what it was like.
Oh, dude, I don't know if you will wake up, bro. Dude.
No, I do have life insurance policy.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because-
up it the day before he does that move.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna brag, and I am 50 now, but I am really good at fighting. Out of the 200 fights I've been in, I've never been taken down. Only one time from behind, but that was a sucker shot and didn't even know what was happening by a 300-pound man, and I only weighed 90 pounds. But on a straight-up fight, man, I'm really good at that. I'm fast.
Yeah.
So
little
I
scrappy.
want a challenge. If I'm going to fight you, I mean, I don't want to fight the kids today. They're just like batshit nuts. They're psycho.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem, dude. That's the problem. You couldn't get it, even if it was a square match. Like, you guys plan it, like, dude, like, we're just going to fight. Next thing you know, dude, the kid's got a gun. And, like, it is.
Oh, no, I meant because of the cage match stuff. You piss them.
Oh, you're talking like growing up, like
Yeah.
UFC fighters and shit. I thought you were.
Dude, yeah, that they remind me of the first real fight I ever got in that made me nervous was with Carlos Rush, and he snapped me in the face with the jump rope.
Am I supposed to know who Carlos is?
As a kid at school, I want him to hear this.
Shout out Carlos. Let's put a picture of Carlos right here.
If we can
Let's-
find
and if
one.
we can find a nude picture of Carlos on the internet, let's put it up here as
Yes.
well.
This dude was like, he was like a foot and a half smaller than me, and he
So like
was,
Mike Adrales.
is like you trying to beat up Mike Andrales, yeah, or me, whatever, because of the height thing.
I don't know if
And
we'd say
I hit-
trying to beat up Mike.
Well, right,
No.
right. But I
I pulled him
I
out
just-
of my mousetrap.
I just picked him up the other day. I think he's hollow, like an Easter bunny, because
I know I saw you pull him off the stage. I was gonna bring that up.
he's so light. It's like,
You swung him around like a ballerina off the stage in that video.
well, don't get me beat up by Carlos. Let me hurry up
Okay.
and tell you
Tell
something
me.
here.
Shit,
I
sorry,
hit
Carlos.
this kid. I hit this kid like 30 times. He kept coming at me, and every time I hit him, all I did was pissed him off more and more. In the principal's office, after the principal left to go in the gym to find out what happened, this kid come out after me again. And the women in the office are like, Brian, stop hitting him. I'm like, man, you get in, because I'm getting tired. I mean, he made me nervous. Dude, if they wouldn't have stopped it, eventually he would have nailed me, because I was wore out, man. His face was all poofy and bloody, and he was still coming, man. Carlos.
Shout out to Carlos, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, the real MVP of the group, you know?
Yeah.
Was okay, so now let's get into let's dive back again. Let's get our footing back where we need to be. And let's talk about can you explain to me the injury that happened?
With the brain injury.
No, the other one.
I've actually had a lot. I've been caught on fire, all kinds of
But
things. so-
you know which one I'm talking
I just
about.
want to make
That's what he
sure.
wants.
Brian 1 through 7.
Yeah. Actually, I was an over-the-road truck driver. I was switching trailers, and there was a piece of cardboard on the trailer. I picked it up so I could throw it away, and when I was walking off the dock, this 1,000-pound overhead warehouse door was like solid oak.
Yep.
Fell straight down, hit me on top of the head.
I
on
don't
the
know
back
why I
of my
thought it was
neck.
an I-beam.
I don't know.
I think that was the
It probably
rumor
felt
that
just
went
as
away.
good.
A door. It's a door?
It was an overhead door.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It may
gotcha.
weigh more than
Safety
1,000
tape or
pounds. They
rope.
thought it was going to kill me.
It
And,
snapped his neck, so he's got titanium neck.
Yeah, I had to get neck surgery. I spent a year in traction, and then I did neck surgery, and I had speech therapy, cognitive therapy, acupuncture. And I've been through everything. It took 17 years. It's been 17 years, and I just stopped my therapy 4 years ago. So, and now they still want me to have back surgery, but I never did that.
And I've also heard that you've said things too, like your therapist didn't think that comedy would be good for you.
That was one of the psychologists. There's 3 psychologists that have diagnosed me with DID, and one of them, or 2 of them.
Let's talk about the one, like the one or the 2 that said that to you.
Yeah, one said it wasn't a real good idea because they did not want me out in public yet because I was still pretty volatile, you know. The other one was more concerned about the fact that alters are usually switched, which is your other personality.
Yeah.
Switch when you're under highly stressful situations.
Or you have a change of dopamine, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And getting up on stage, certainly for an autistic person that it has stage fright and all that, I can get embarrassed really easy, and they're afraid that I was going to snap and like if a heckler say something, I might go into the crowd and harm somebody.
That's out of there, but like, yeah, you may snap on stage, just like any of us may. There's always I've been heckled so hard sometimes where it's very frustrating. And what you do when you're the most frustrated is very odd. You need to remember when I started doing comedy, I didn't talk about myself, or I wasn't just the gross guy, like the guy with the gross jokes. I was very like deep with some of the jokes that I would say, and they made a few people upset. Not that I was never a hurtful or hateful type of comedian, but I would just say things like thinking I was more of a bro than I was creative, you know, like, and they would just upset people. Like if I talked about here, I can even say if I talked about being gay, people were like, it was very odd because I would get a crowd of people that were upset that you can't talk about being gay unless you're gay. And it was very frustrating and weird for me. But then like I've also had people scream, "No, you're like drunk people, like shut up, you're a fucking loser." Dude, Lane Johnson's mom, do you remember, never met Lane? Okay.
He doesn't remember.
Lane, his mom was one of the meanest people I've ever come across after a show. She told me that I was an awful comedian. I should never go up again. That I was like, she just hated me. And I just couldn't even understand it. I couldn't comprehend it. And Lane had said, "Do you need to take it?" Okay. Lane had said to me, dude, don't worry about her. Like, dude, you're amazing. Like, and that was the night I won the Laugh Hard comedy competition. Like, and it was such a like Debbie Downer to the night.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, we all come across this and we'll take them in different ways. But yeah, I mean,
I practice this at home because I know how some bad things really do come out of my mouth a lot. So I actually practice and write down stuff for the hecklers, which I haven't really remembered yet because I want to handle it in a more fun, tactful way. But I don't know if that's how it's going to happen.
you don't even need to handle it if you don't want to. That's
No, I want to.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't need to be something that actually has to happen.
That's my set. You're not going to control my set. I've got that in my head because one of my mentors is Tim Kaminsky. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's got the Comedy Hall of Fame ring. I listen to everything he says.
Uh-huh.
And the one thing he tells me is, that's your stage. You control it. You learn to control the audience. Because he wants me to get up there and host to learn to control that room.
Mm-hmm.
Once I do that and I get a certain far, then I can, I can be, hopefully open for him someday before he retires. But I don't know. My career's not moving that fast.
He goes, he's strictly on cruise lines now.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he only does cruise line comedy.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that's where I'd like to go. But anyway, I want to learn how to handle all that stuff before I do that, because you go acting like a fool on a cruise line, you're done.
Oh yeah, you need to be polished to be up on there, because especially on a cruise line, you're going to pick up a lot of drunk crowds. And
Yep.
see, this is kind of what I was saying more in reference. And I think you maybe got a little bit confused. I'm saying that you don't have to address a heckler, because sometimes it's easier to let a heckler get addressed by the crowd and the people around that are annoyed and pissed. And then you can make jokes or poke fun or something and then continue forward with what you're doing. Because I've seen this happen a million times, where if you address that person, like, and you're upset and you make that visibly upset, you'll watch your set just bomb.
Right.
Because you go from this likable, lovable person, which is what you are, to where you would look like, dude, like, yeah, we get it, they're drunk. Like, now you're making yourself look like an asshole. And that is the number one thing that you do not want to do on stage. You don't want to appear to be an asshole. And like the stuff we clipped out, like that makes you look like an asshole. If anybody ever comes to another show and sees something like that again, they think that person's a complete asshole. And whether or not that may be true or not, which I don't believe that's true, but you have to remember that the crowd is also your best friend. So if you win them over with your stand-up and your heart, and like just you as a person, where you'll win them over with them telling people to shut up for you in the crowd. Okay. You'll win them over with, them handling the situation where you don't have to be in an aggressive state of mind to control everything all the time. Okay. People will do it for
we
you.
had this conversation before it happened.
Yeah.
So thank you.
But no, like if somebody's being silly or like saying stuff like, no, you suck. And then like if you say something back, that's fair game, like just pick and choose your battles when you do that, because you don't want to be the guy that's known for just getting into fights with crowds. And once you do it once, it's easy to get sucked into that wormhole of like, maybe that first time you do it, everybody in the crowd loves it. So then you're like, oh my God, remember how well I did that night when I was just screaming? And then the next night, you don't even get a chance to do your stand-up because, people either like you or don't like you because of some hecklers,
Yeah. Well, the heckling I've had so far was never mean. It was just like interruptions or a cell phone or whatever. And I handled it well, kind of like I did the tomato toss.
Uh-huh.
And that's the way
So
I want to
great.
keep it. The tomato toss night, that was the first time I ever addressed the crowd. Wasn't that the night I said pick up something? And
I've watched you a ton of times, man. Like it was so great to watch you just be free in a moment where you should have been your most stressed.
but the problem,
Exactly.
well, I should have been, but that's
I saw the
weird
look on
about
your
me.
face. You
I
were
was
like,
waiting.
"Whoa, look at this!"
I was like, it's either going to trigger him to be pissed off, and I'm done, and then I'll have to go and
Do
withdraw him.
maintenance.
Yeah. Or he's going
Yeah.
to adapt, and he's going to continue, and
Well, my dad really loved that video. My dad's one of my biggest fans. He, man, I have to be clean. If I want his support, I have to be somewhat clean. I can hint at stuff, but if I go up there in here, I want to do Austin Ingalls stuff. That's half the stuff that I wrote.
Yeah.
But that takes a special.
What do you mean about Austin Ingalls stuff? Like,
because he's a shot comic.
Are you saying that it's really raunchy?
He is a dirty
Yeah,
guy.
it's great. it is. And I talk like that.
I had someone say to me, like, Austin Ingalls makes me feel uncomfortable when he's on stage. I was like, Austin
really?
Ingalls is the sweetest guy in the world. Don't ever say that.
Dude,
Like,
you know what? It takes a special person to do that, because to get up there and say
takes a
that stuff.
brave person to do that.
I know. I've tried a couple times to get close to it, to practice with it, and I bombed on my jokes. I forgot what I was saying because your nerves go through the roof. So, rock on, Austin Ingalls.
Fuck yeah, dude. He's awesome, man.
Man, the stuff that comes out of his mouth. I mean,
And that's why I tell him,
Filter.
Yeah,
Oh.
and I, you know, the
Filter.
one thing I noticed is you didn't put Austin on your show.
he wanted
well,
No, I was saying after you said it had to be clean.
it
yeah.
had to be clean, and I asked a couple people if they had clean material, and they're like, not even interested. You know, that's just not what they do.
Yeah, well, it's also weird because people don't know where the guidelines of clean are these days. You can turn on I've literally turned on like cable television and heard fuck. Like, I'm like, wait, fuck is allowed on TV now? Or you see butts and you'll like see side glances of nipples
Or
and
penis. I've seen a penis on TV. Will Ferrell in that one movie.
I think
I didn't imagine
I think
this.
you were watching
No.
another video.
No.
buddy.
No. And that,
Well,
Get Hard.
you still watch VHS tapes, right?
No. I wore him out.
Yeah, well, Shane, don't say it. All right, don't say it. But no, like, I don't know how many times I've seen penises on TV, but I've seen them like on like the older channels. You got a gnat in front of your face. And like that has been weird, you know, like the Cinemax channels and stuff. Did you just eat
Did
it?
you eat it?
No. I just made
Stop
you think
it.
so.
Hey, Shane, make that the start of the podcast episode. There it is. I hope you're fucking proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking goober.
What is-
So you were saying that you saw a lot of penises on TV. Now, Shane, clip it. That's the end of the beginning.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
But no, like it is weird, like what you see on TV now. So it also confuses you to what's okay. Another thing that I even actually write stand up about is something that confuses me. Like 50 Shades of Grey. Are you familiar? It was like a smut book, a smut book and movie. Like for
Yeah, she doesn't watch a lot of movies. I watch.
You're not familiar
I don't
with.
watch TV.
You don't know anything about 50 Shades of Grey?
I've never watched TV. I watch
I tried
TV
to.
in
I
my
explained it to her, but
Well, that is a TV right in front of you, and
It's
you're
a
watching.
screen,
Okay,
yeah.
you're right.
well, that's
you're
because
right.
she's on. She loves to watch herself.
Whatever.
You guys don't have an OnlyFans?
What?
Obviously not.
Oh, we're keeping that under wraps.
What?
Your OnlyFans account.
Hold on, can we have one?
Yeah,
It sounds fun.
Christina, do you not know what that is?
She probably doesn't.
No.
That's not telling me.
OnlyFans is like where people now are like they're posting like nudes and like sex videos and stuff. It has other purposes. OnlyFans has other purposes for like other things, but it's mostly known for it's like. You know, you may see your neighbor next door selling some pictures for $5, and you know, like, hey, all to its own. But
we
people are
have to-
making like
I guess write it down.
generational wealth over it.
I'll have to re-listen to this, I guess.
Hey, let's make you guys' your page name
Profile?
right now. Yeah, profile page name. CB radio. So
Well,
CB
Bootylicious.
Ooh.
Bootylicious. Oh.
Yeah, it's probably
He's a booty boy. Oh, goodness.
You're a booty guy. So, do you expect me to just assume that your wolf was a yes?
Sure.
I was gonna howl there for a minute, but oh.
I like this is also like you are a bit of a horn dog, dude.
He is.
I get worse with age.
Yes.
which is an odd thing because a lot of people slow down with age. You know that. No, nice.
No.
You snarled at me as you said that. I'm glad you didn't close your fist at me again.
No, dude, what I do is I put my oxygen tube on my face because I sleep with oxygen.
yeah.
Get my inhaler.
Get stuff
Yeah,
looking
get
real.
the EpiPen.
Get all that shit ready, and then
get
just
it
get
ready.
buried.
He's
Yep,
kidding.
that's right.
Oh.
He doesn't do all
Yeah, he does. Don't you try to cover up for him right
We
now.
we both do have to use our inhaler after sex. That's
Yes.
a given, and it's not one puff either.
Oh, dude, I use I use like a lot of Febreze afterwards. You know, like I want to make sure my sheets smell just good and clean, just like the way I left them. I like to lay down towels just in case there's fluid leaking all over the place. You know,
I
I
have
just
to change the whole house.
oh yeah,
Take a shower.
He can't just do one, so he has to. If when he does it, it's got to be like
I'm
no snow laying a towel.
I'm
You've got
so
sheets,
glad that the
top
news is
cover.
going to know about this podcast episode.
Well, it explains mental health.
Yes,
so
mental health because it's not simple. It's
there's
not
nothing
simple at
simple
all.
in my world.
But it's also kind of what we were just talking about too, you know, like this is the way we talk to each other. It's silly and playful, and it also is serious, and that is an important way, you know. I truly believe that you know that there's no hidden agenda when I talk to you. I don't think there's a hidden agenda when you talk to me. Like we're friends. It's
Right.
just the way it is. But there's also so much beating around the bush with people. You don't know what they're talking about.
No, I like it right between the eyes. Mm-hmm. You know, if these comedians, they're like hanging out with me and they're having fun and they're sitting there in a conversation, but they don't like me, dude, just tell me, hey, you know what? I don't really like you, but I tolerate you. And then I'll leave you the hell alone. Because I just you don't have to be a dick about it because I'll be a dick back. But be straight with me. Don't be phony with me because I won't be phony with you. And don't waste my time. You know, I'd rather go beat off in the closet than waste 5 minutes on you if you don't want to be around me.
Well, or you could spend those 5 minutes in a hidden area and like get it on your hand and just go drag your hand across their shoulder pad or like shoulder as you walk by. You remember shoulder pads popular in the 80s?
Oh, my God.
Gosh, why don't we bring them back? You'd look great in a pair of shoulder pads. Come on.
I've never.
Never wore shoulder pads.
I'm
feel
a
like
tomboy.
I feel like you've always been jeans and a t-shirt type of person.
Yes.
And you rock it.
And a fishing
Lingerie.
pole.
You rock and lingerie.
That's
Yeah.
What
nice.
type? Wait, what type? Wait,
Dude,
wait,
this-
look at that.
She
Okay.
come pick me up. I was in the middle of my divorce,
my
and she come pick me up, and we go and park somewhere, and we do our thing, and the sheriff parks up the street, and I'm like, well, we're at a
we go.
dead end road. He's definitely pulling us
Look
over.
at she's taking a drink
So,
right now.
oh yeah,
She's so stressed.
So we pull out. We pull out, and I said, just pull over because he's going to pull up behind us. And he did. And he's like, so what's going on? She's like, well, I just picked him up. I was talking to him. And she's in the lingerie. That's all she has. And she's like, he's having marital problems. And he's like, you think?
You just go through separation and stuff. So.
Well,
Yeah.
dude, and isn't that a weird period of time? Because when I was going through my divorce, I was with Timmery.
Yes.
You know, like, and so that was such a weird period of time. Like, you also, you know, with the person that you're with now, like, you want to be this exciting and fun and crazy. You know, you want to do all the things you've never done because you feel like you've been locked in for so long or be
Yes.
treated miserably.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things that you want to experience, and you think in your brain you need to experience them all now. But truly, what you need to do is just wait for this person to just be all the way gone. But you know what?
can't
We're
wait.
people and we
No
can't
way.
control ourselves.
No.
So,
But when I'm done, I'm done. I was just trying not to be homeless out of the deal.
well, let me tell you. So there was a time where, so Timmery had gotten a divorce, I had gotten a divorce, and we were both finalizing our divorces, and we were going to have, you know, some nasty down by the riverfront. Well, we're doing we went like into the woods, you know, we were being like exotic, you know, so we went into the woods and I was just doing my thing. And who takes their pants off in the woods? Like all the way takes their pants and underwear. So I'm naked and like I'm wearing, like, I'm going to tell you right now, back when this was happening, I had a badge on, which is a problem. So I just stripped off my top half and went and dove in the lake. And he, like, I was like, dude, I'm just going to float down the river. I'm butt naked now at this point. And somebody's like, no, just get out of the water. Just get out of the water and just pretend like we're just looking at the water. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm floating down the river. That's what I'm doing. You know?
I can hear you. I'm fine. Go ahead.
Was I too loud?
Nope.
He's just adjusting.
I have these moments. I'm cool. Go ahead.
Do you
Handle it.
Well,
But it worked.
you'll never know how much I relate to that because from my first marriage, I had 10 men standing up for my. That's how much I just love people, dude. You know, like I think these people are my best friends, and these people are surrounded by me, and like, but no one I never even got to talk to somebody. Like never even got to tell them like I'm miserable. I'm not happy. I'm these things. I have one single person of those 10 people that stood up in my first marriage in my life today at all.
Wow.
One of them. And that one person means so much to me. And that one person to me was the only person that I did not think would be here this day. It was the only person. He comes from a beautiful family where they go on family vacations. They're very religious. They do all these things. Everything's by the book. And he's the one person that I called everybody and told them what was happening. And he's the one that said, Shane, I love you no matter what. If you're happy, I'm happy. That's all that takes for me.
Exactly.
And that made one of the greatest friendships that I will never not appreciate. And when you talk about the medication stuff too, you know, you can never give someone advice because everybody's different. I got put on a medication called Latuda at one point. And have you ever heard of it?
No.
It has to do with anxieties, don't it?
Yeah, Latuda's like they had commercials that were like, Latuda. Do you want to get back to your normal daily life? Do you want to enjoy fishing without guns being pulled on you at the park? You know, like it was
Your
just
voice, I'm waiting for you to break out a condom.
yeah, but they're like, Latuda will get you back on track. Side effects of Latuda are loss of eyes and loss of hair. You might
Diarrhea.
lose a limb or two. Yeah, like diarrhea, nails falling off, your house being uninsured anymore. Your car will lose a tire or two a day. Like, just like all those things. Well, when I started taking Latuda, I would claw. I would shake so much. I would claw through the bed sheets. I'd claw through a wood table. And it made me, a lot of those things is what led me to a really suicidal path that had me, like, I had my ticket punched and I was ready to go. There was no convincing me. Like, that was the only thing in my life that I wanted. There was no person. There was no object. There was no thing that I wanted. And then I went cold turkey off that medication. And I mean, with the help of Timmery, like Timmery saved my life. Dude, Timmery all the way saved my
Bless
life.
her.
Like, she pulled me out of the lake trying to hang myself. Like, she was so amazing, but stopping that medication, because I had so many people telling me I was this, telling me I was that. I literally had people walk up like, dude, Shane, I've heard you're schizophrenic. I'm like, I'm not schizophrenic. I'm fucking miserable in this relationship I'm in. Like, that's literally what it was. And then I went from being this big name powerlifter. I suffered, I tore my left hamstring, tore my right hamstring, and then shattered my right foot. So then I had nothing left. And so I had no identity anymore. And it's when we lose our identity that we either rebuild it or you just, I don't want to say cower away because it's such a powerful thing, you know, like anxiety, depression, you know, mental illnesses there's things that can rip a person apart. It's not an easy way to tell somebody this is right, this is wrong, this is how you should think or feel. But also, too, sometimes all you need is just a little bit of love in your life.
Right. So you just gotta accept life the way, not what you had, but what you do have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what you had in the past is no longer be. So you gotta recreate something that you're gonna enjoy.
Mm-hmm. And so you two have been a very big foundation towards each other. Like, I know that you talk to me in a way that I love so much about your wife. Like that, what a brilliant way you love her in ways you recognize what she does for you. You know that, like, and I'm not saying that love is just based on what other people do for you. It's based on feelings and compassion. But you think she's the greatest person ever, and then you also have so much like. You guys have so much like where you could speak for each other,
Right.
and that's like I don't feel like I'm friends with just Brian. I feel like I'm friends with Brian and Christina. I don't feel like I'm just friends with you. I feel like I'm friends with you and you, because you two are so in everybody's misfit like type of ways. Your puzzle pieces fit together sometimes, even though you
Balance each other out.
and that's
She's awesome. I mean, I tell you what, I wouldn't trade her in for nothing, because I've told her, look, if we die and we get to choose to come back, I said, I
You'll
definitely
marry
will pick
again.
you again. I said, the only thing is, can you have a different mom? She says, can you too? I was like, okay, we'll work on that.
Would you want Christina to have a bigger butt though? Like maybe like 2 more inches in the next one?
No.
You don't want it any
Sure.
bigger?
You know, I
He
know.
said sure.
Yeah. I like that.
She has a problem with it. I love it. Yum yum, give me some. She walks to the house. I mean, you know, I know I'm probably like the biggest dork in the world. I probably act like a 15-year-old with his first erection. She walks through the house. I'm like, and she's like, stop. And I was like, no, turn it. I want to see your butt. Or she says something and it's like boring to me. I'm like, turn it out.
Hey, listen, it was built inside of us. We just have this going on. Like inside, man, I'm a butt guy. I'll never miss a butt.
Yeah.
Brian, I've probably checked your butt out a time or two.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm gonna
I
see.
don't have a butt.
I know you don't. That's what. But I'm gonna check to see if you're thick or not, boy.
Yeah.
Thick.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Yeah, thick.
Yeah,
Oh,
thick. 2 C's.
Oh,
TH
See?
THI 2
yum
C's.
yum, give me
Get
some.
it.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude.
It's okay.
Hello.
Do you feel like this is kind of an odd question, but do you feel like you're cooler as the older you get than you felt as a younger person?
First of all, I never felt cool because I was always downgraded by my dad's girlfriends or wives. You know, I mean, like if I wore my shirt like this, she'd be like, "What do you think? You're sexy?
Hell yeah, you
Tuck
are.
your shirt in, button your shirt up." You know, and it's just degrading shit like that my whole life. So no, I've never felt comfortable in my own skin. I feel comfortable in my own skin when I started dating her. I mean, because I'm like, I thought maybe she needed glasses or something. She's like, you know, you're so good looking, you're so hot, and I'm like, quit lying to me. What do you want? I'm broke.
But it goes
you know,
beyond looks. It's like how you treat somebody. And
Brian's misunderstood. So he's misunderstood because nobody wants to understand mental illness, or they're afraid to approach him because they don't know if they can. Like Brian's Brian.
Engage, yeah.
Yeah.
well,
so
you know what? That's
it's a trigger. Like he's Brian. He's always going to be sweet and kind and gentle, and you just got to work with the episodes, and that's what I call them, episodes. So
yeah.
That's
but-
what-
people just have to know that it's not every single day he goes from altar. So it's not every single day that we enjoy life to its fullest. But when it does happen, or when he does transition, we just find ways to cope, give him back.
And I can tell you some of those things about that. But first, I know I'm overbearing with when it's weird when you meet somebody and they tell you right away what's wrong with them. Yeah. And that, you know why? You know why I do it? Because I'm really not here for you if you don't care about it. I'm here for the people that do want to hear about it, because I've hidden in my house ever since my brain injury.
Uh-huh.
So up until the comedy thing, which was an accident anyway, I wrote the book. They were laughing at it. I'm like, it wasn't supposed to be a comedy. And I thought, well, I'll just be a comedian then. How hard could that be? Holy
Great
shit.
transition, yeah.
And so I got tricked into being a comedian, and then I started following you guys around. Then COVID hit. Then Chris Lichting tricked me on
He
stage.
followed Chris for 3 years.
Well, actually, I followed for the first 6 months was Donnie Townsend
Yes. Uh-huh.
and Mike Andrelis. And then I ran into Chris.
right.
But, but anyway, but I have a mission here. My mission is my wife and I joke about stupid stuff all the time because I'm mad all the time.
Yes.
You don't see it, but I am. Everything pisses me off.
You're like the Hulk. His secret was that he was
Well,
always
if I
angry.
do this,
Yeah.
he'll get angry because it's not in its right place, and then
OCD, and it drives me crazy. But I don't get mad anymore, but I don't like
Correct.
it. I
I'd like it better where it was, though.
it's
yeah.
like-
So,
but if I alter something, he gets.
But- hold on, let's get to the point. So let's get back, I
Yeah.
get lost. So I wanted people to understand that when someone gets a brain injury or a mental illness, they don't just get it. The whole family gets it.
Yes.
And I wanted to work on that aspect of it from the patient's view to say the patient needs to go, hey, you know what? You need to quit being a selfish asshole, and because your family's hurting too. It's not just about you, but do that in a comical way, and that was what I really wanted to do. I didn't intend on talking about my multiple personality disorder because it's very embarrassing. I wanted to talk about the brain injury, but Chris threw me up on stage that night, and I've been writing all day about the multiple personality disorder, and those jokes just came out of my mouth. They just happened, and they laughed. I'm like, well, I'm in it now. They know who I am. I don't have a choice. I might as well just run with it. And my mentor, Tim Kaminsky, he's like, dude, own it. I
Own
wished
it.
I had a brain
He said,
injury, and
own
I wish
it.
I had your mental illness because, dude, I could sit here. He started writing jokes for me in his head. He's like, I wish I could share them with you, but he wants me to have my own material.
Yeah, and as
So
you should.
he guides me. When I show him stuff, he'll say, you're
Or
getting
he'll call you on the phone.
sidetracked.
He's like,
Well,
Yeah.
he only called a few times. He's very busy. I mean, he's on cruise line. So, but anyway, so I know coming into the comedy world, me going, yes, I have this, have that. These people probably going, oh, you want sympathy. No, I want the people that actually are suffering from it are going to actually hear what I say, and they're going to learn from it.
But that's not the only thing you want when you're doing comedy. You know, you're not looking for just relatable people. You want to be funny and silly.
No, I do. But if
He
you're
does.
if you're a narcissist and you have PPD, which is paranoid personality disorder,
Personal protective equipment.
no, personal
that's
Oh,
PPE.
paranoid
safety
personality
coordinator.
disorder. You'll know them because they're the people that go, oh, that's not wrong with that person. That's not wrong with that person, because they want to steal that attention. That's personality. It goes into that area. I run into that quite a bit, but it's funny because there's a couple of people who have asked about the multiple personality disorder. Is it real? But they actually give me more shit about the brain injury, which is easier to prove. They're
But-
like, well, you don't look like
You
you have
don't
a
look
brain
like
injury.
it.
Well,
Yeah,
come
he
on.
gets that a lot.
So I was like, what do you mean I don't look like I have a brain injury? You don't look like you have lung cancer either. And then I shut off their oxygen tank and I walk away.
Damn, dude, this is how you kill the world off again. But seriously, the world is this crazy because
Yes.
once again, I can relate to this because so I had made this TikTok page. And are either of you familiar?
He's a TikTok person.
No, I
don't.
see them. I don't have
I
one
went
yet.
extremely viral on TikTok about, I would assume, a year ago, where I got over 80 million views over the course of a
Nice.
month.
Good for you.
But it was because I made this pair of pants as making comedy videos, but I had a pair of sweatpants. I made a second pair of sweatpants where I cut the leg off of one of those pairs of sweatpants that matched the second pair. And then I sewed them on, filled them with stuffing, and I had a giant I had a giant dick.
Okay.
But it was in, and so people were like, it's fake. Or they would get upset, dude, this guy's making fun of people with a symptom, or this guy's making fun of people with elephantitis. But it was so silly, and so I just ignored it all. And the more I ignored it all, the more it made it more popular. Dude, this thing just started growing and growing. My phone was would be like a vibrator right now if I still posted a TikTok. It'd just be like, bzz, 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 bzz.
Wow.
The nonstop over the duration of days or weeks.
You don't make money from that?
Oh yeah, there was money, but it's a lot of work, my friend. It's a lot of work. It's not as easy as you think to, stay the most popular podcast and TikTok in the Quad Cities. Hey, there's good ones out there like Getting Weird or whatever it's called with Stevie Bo, and then there's modern day Underthinker with Colin Brajak, but or even Slice of Pie with Zach Vaughn, which he thinks he's starting one. But there's only one real podcast in the Quad Cities. And that is Shot 30 Podcast.
Well, thanks for having this.
Yeah. No, I'm so happy. Can we talk about the show that's coming up this weekend a little bit?
After all the stuff we just talked about, you can interject that show.
So that was at Seven Hills. Is that the
Seven
one?
Hills.
Oh, that
yeah.
one. Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
What show were you
Wrong
talking about?
personality.
Were you going back to the OnlyFans stuff?
No. No. Yeah, actually, I didn't know you were on that until like 2 weeks ago. That you and I both are going to be on that show this weekend.
The OnlyFans show?
Oh my
Well, we
God.
can.
No.
The Seven Hills.
Yeah. Oh, it was the Seven Hills show we do have this weekend, and then next week, or next Friday in Buffalo, Iowa. This is what I want you
On the
to talk.
19th.
Okay.
19th, yes.
Actually, so yes, this is
it
my
Friday
schedule this
or
week.
Saturday?
It's on a Friday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
night.
It's on a Friday.
Well, this was my schedule. I have to go from the beginning because I was supposed to have a show tonight. Unfortunately, it was canceled. And then I have one Saturday with you and Papa Crunk's going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe you'll get your dream.
Yeah. Yes.
But I have to wait till
No.
after.
No, we're not fighting nobody.
We'll have to wait till after the Buffalo
See?
show because I won't wake up by then.
Keeps closing his ears.
Justin Goldberg at Seven Hills is your host.
Yep.
Seven Hills in Dubuque, Iowa, and
Correct.
the show starts at 10, which is awful for me because I'm normally asleep by 9.
But I'm a night driver, so you could just ride with me.
Oh, Seven Hills. Well, me and Timmery are going to go up way early, and then we're going to. And sorry, Victoria House, because I'm going to let you know now. We're actually going to go up and get a hotel room early.
Okay.
Because that's just so late for me. So I want to
Okay.
take a nap, wake up, and I've got a fun set for that one. And then I've got one of the biggest challenges of my life in Buffalo, Iowa, 2 weeks from then. You are correct.
At the
on
Buffalo
19th.
Community
Yeah.
Center.
Which we'll talk about that on the news. What is that? What's the news channel?
That's called Living Local.
Yeah.
On
So
Channel 4,
he's
that's
gonna be
the
on
night.
Living Local, and he was
Living Local's doing a lot of great things for people
no.
around here.
a lot of community involvement.
Yeah, especially with our people. You know, we've had, I've had my friend Nikki, I'm not sure what name she goes by on there. Bleep bleep on there, and then I'll just say whatever name it is. But she's been on there a couple times doing makeup and artistry on there, and then and like James Draper was just on there the other day, and Matt
Matt
Moody.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Village Theater.
Matt Moody, he's set to be on the podcast. Can you believe that he was set to be on the podcast probably about a year ago? And then he told me that his excuse for responding and never saying anything back is that his cat texted on his phone to me. She had went onto his phone and typed words, and that was the excuse he gave. But no, now that I'm getting views, now he wants to come back on, and it wasn't his cat's fault all of a sudden.
Okay.
But when I did the roast of Matt Moody, it was so funny because I talked all about that.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Oh, the roast of Matt Moody was a blast.
That
yeah.
was a birthday edition, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay, so but the show on the 19th. Please tell me what it's all about.
Well, it actually stemmed from my brain injury. Missy Hendricks, who actually helped me with my brain injury through Genesis, I ran into her, I believe in February of this year, and she told me that she had opened the Empower House, which was a brain injury camp for people with brain injuries. And since I've been wanting to give back, which is why I started the book that I never finished,
They
And I was
didn't
doing
have
the
that
comedy.
available when Brian had a brain injury. This wasn't available for him to go to.
no, it was not. It was just opened up that week, and I thought, wow, that's a nonprofit organization. I can do a fundraiser for it, and I was going to wait a couple years, so I could headline my own show. Mm-hmm. That's just normal. You're going to throw a show, you want to headline, or host it at least. Well, inadvertently, the news thought my wife was the promoter for the Renwick Mansion because they were doing that news article on the Ukraine, and they joked about her being the promoter. So they contacted her, and then when she told them why she was involved with them, that she was just posting pictures. She wasn't the Chris Lichting was the person who runs.
I just like to help.
Yeah.
They said, "Well, we want the side story on your husband," and
Right.
and then I was like, "Okay, well, we can do that, and we'll just have to wait till later, to do this show." And she's like, "No, the news is paying attention right now. We're doing it right now.
It's
they
not
may
about
not.
you.
They may
It's
never think
helping
about you
people.
again.
So
Well-
you get together who can help you, excel. Mm-hmm. And it's not about you being a headliner. It's about who can help you make a difference. And that's what I'd like to do.
Because Brian, you do
forget.
forget, and exactly what you're saying is, I think you do forget that when people say, "Hey, we're going to the," when no one's saying the Shane Newbert show or the James Draper show on the 19th. They're saying they're going to Brian Farrell's show. So, don't forget, even though you're not doing the most amount of time, Brian, you are the headliner of that show. And it's not fair for you to not discredit yourself because that's something we try to do. But you are the headline of that show. And you're the reason that this show is happening, to help people and for, it's us to all come together and have a fun, silly night and playful night and tell jokes and raise money and raise awareness. And you are that reason and that glue that bonds us, because can you name me a world where me, James, Colin, and everybody in between is all there without you asking us to do that? It doesn't exist.
Well,
I know you get frustrated because you don't like that type of thing.
I don't want it to be about me.
But you
You're a key person.
just because you're not the headliner of the show, you know that you are learning and you're doing so well, and there's a lot of roadblocks to come across when you do stand up, and you've done so amazing so far in these roadblocks and growing and building, and just because somebody, dude, just thinking that, maybe that James is a better headliner than you doesn't, that's
That
great to
actually-
have, James, but it doesn't discredit you because you're still working. And that's a lot of years that guy has on you.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of years, hundreds, thousands of mics, thousands of times walking on stage. Dude, that's nothing bad.
That's not really where I go with it, though. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it was more like I didn't want other people going, well, he's only been doing this 6 months and already he's throwing his show. What, he thinks he's that good? I didn't want them to think I was getting overbearing. And it wasn't about that. It's about Missy and the Empower House, and I didn't want to miss the opportunity. So I had no problem asking other people to be involved. But I didn't want people to think I was getting too big for my britches, because I hear that people do that a lot, and I'm not that person.
But we all know that you're not that person.
Exactly.
The different type of person is saying hey, will you guys do my show? I'm gonna be see the difference, watch the difference. I'll do it for you. Hey Brian, do you want to be a feature spot on my show? You're gonna do 5 minutes, but I'm headlining, so I'm doing 45 minutes. You need to make sure you're 5 and walk off. This show's about me, everybody, and then make sure you don't leave, and sitting there in the front row and cheer extra loud in case the crowd's not cheering.
Okay.
You see how flip side that is, Brian. Everybody knows that you're not that type of person. No, everybody knows that. But we're gonna have giveaway baskets, and
I got a lot of sponsors. I have Whitey's.
Chicago Bears.
I do have a Chicago Bears donation.
One of a kind laser printed autograph with the letter of authenticity. One of a kind.
Correct.
Signed by Roquan Smith, Justin Fields, Robert Quinn, Jalen Johnson, and David Montgomery.
And then-
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good memory.
Yeah, those are all the Bears best players as well. That's a really cool gift to get. And there's a letter of authenticity with that. We Shot 30 are going to give a Shot 30 basket.
Correct.
Yep.
And it'll be a little bit playful, and there's going to be some good stuff in there too. Who else has given some baskets?
Judy's Barge and the Buffalo Beach Pub. A lot of people in Buffalo are really supportive because this is the first comedy show in Buffalo Beach.
Ever.
Buffalo Community Center.
Damn.
Brandy
I know.
Dahl has also donated the hall for the comedy show. So
Yes.
the venue itself is like a wedding, birthdays, and they do a lot too.
Yep.
So they hold events for a lot of people. So the venue is nice. The venues are very important because it helps bring in money to them. So that's what I'm saying. It's
Well, and then, but we have a lot of gas stations. They've given fuel cards.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yep, and was it Subway or Hungry Hobo?
I'm just trying to recall. I'm going to start
Renwick.
posting them on Facebook on his comedy page.
And
Renwick Mansion too.
And
Yes.
did they did?
They
Yeah,
donated a
Dane and
bunch of
Sarah, they
bunch of tickets.
donated
And
tickets, at least $100 to almost $200 worth of merchandise.
wow. And Dane is also hosting the show?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Good for Dane. Dane
Dane.
is a sweet guy, man.
And I love the way he hosts. I love the way that he always brings things together. And I don't know,
He's just got that calming.
Yeah, dude, he is like a well, you said you never watched TV, but
I don't.
Dane actually looks so much like the police officer off Norman or Bates Motel, the newest Bates Motel.
Hey,
And I'll put a
okay.
picture of him up right here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because Dane's a handsome guy, and I'll show you guys a picture after we're done.
Okay.
Now can we please like the Brian Farrell Facebook group page that Brian Farrell talks
we
to?
created, yes, so we created Knock Knock Who's There comedy because sometimes we're like, okay, who's there? Which
Well,
one? Which
and
one
a
do we
brain
have?
injury.
It's a brain injury. So
And this for a brain injury.
Could I say this real
That's so
quick? I
funny.
do want to say this before I I don't want to end this thing without making sure that this is in here. Christina, you have been you mean so much. I know I've sent this message to you before, but I feel like Shot 30 is like the diary of my life, and I don't ever want to go without saying this. You mean so much to people. A simple photograph, you'll never know how much it means to a person that they were remembered that night, or that wow, look at how cool I look, or like look at me so happy, or these type of
Yes.
moments. They mean so much, and I don't think that you should have to. I don't think that you should do it forever. But what you have done in this period of time, and it does not go unnoticed by everybody. It doesn't matter if you're around, if you're at a show. It does not matter. Your name gets brought up in a way because you have promoted, you have pushed, you have shoved like yourself. You
I
mean
just want everybody to feel important. And I do love to take photos. I've taken photos wherever I go, whatever event I'm at. It doesn't matter. It could
Everything.
be a little birthday party. It could be a bridal shower. It could be a baby shower. Or it could be a comedy show or wherever. Because I know it's an important moment in our lives, in our community, and it needs to be captured. Because at one point, we're going to look back, and so it's going to mean something important to somebody.
I never.
and
got
it does
that.
to all of us.
And I do my children that way too. So
Yeah.
ask them.
It does.
Mom's here. It's going to take a picture.
It does mean so much to all of us. And so the Brian Farrell page can, or like the Knock Knock Who's not the 16th Brian Farrell page, the Knock Knock Who's There page. We're gonna
Yes.
attach that down below, but that's just a Facebook.
Yeah, so we created a Facebook page because Brian's comedy was taking over my personal page, and I wasn't communicating to my own friends. So I'm thinking, let's give him his own page so they can actually see his comedy journey. And then I also have a journey where I can see his progression, and I can see him improving. Or, I'm his biggest cheerleader. I want to see where he became, like where he's changed and where he's not. Because he now feels like he has a purpose. And he hasn't had many outbursts since he started comedy. And this is important to me because I'm the caregiver. I oversee him. And I want the best for him,
Yeah.
So it's hard because when you watch somebody wanting to give and do, and then he doesn't know where to go. So it's just I want to support him to his best. If that's what he wants to do, God,
I
I'm
can't
going to
believe
do
I've
it.
been so supportive of this because our life was so busy before this happened.
Correct.
I mean, with wildlife and her family, me with my problems, and still going to doctors, and so just went through a surgery, and she went through 4 surgeries. So we're
Last year
so
alone I had
busy.
3.
And all of a sudden, I'm on stage, and all hell broke loose, and I'm addicted to it now. And
But
she's
humor
taking
is the best
pictures.
medicine because we always joke at home and we always play pranks.
Well, now we
And
don't
I
fight.
feel like
pranks.
you have a lot of fun with Christina, you have a lot of fun with stand up as well. Like you wouldn't be dragging yourself along to go watch
I
an
love
open
laughter.
mic night?
Because she's funny.
Oh yeah, I know. When are we gonna get her up on stage?
I try, but she's like, no, I enjoy watching
I don't
you,
want to
but-
take Brian's. It's his shine. It's his time to shine.
See,
it's his purpose, and I don't want to.
But he could shine our shoes as we're all
I know.
doing stand up.
But it's like this is his moment,
I
and
don't,
I'm gonna,
but see-
I'm gonna help.
I would
him,
enjoy
lift
the
him
moment
up.
with her up there too.
But
though.
we'd love to have you up there too. That would be fun.
I think we should get up there and argue because it is so funny the way we
Oh my
argue.
gosh.
It is so funny.
I don't think
It's
think
like-
He
that's a
doesn't
good
win.
idea.
Well,
I always say, "How's that working out for you?"
well, you know,
She's
I
gonna,
figured
she's
16
gonna
to,
win.
but 16-1, you'd think I'd have a fighting chance, but apparently she has more personality than I
She's like
do.
she's like Bowser and your 16 ants, dude. You're at the end of Mario and you're just gonna stomp on you.
Yeah.
I am very difficult for somebody to really love me and adore me, and really love, like, because
She's not.
I'm
difficult.
stubborn.
I don't know. Okay.
No, yeah, I don't.
Yes.
I don't agree with that either. Because also with this stand-up group, you have a group of way more than 16 that love you as well. Like Brian, I know, like, dude, we love you, and I think that you are doing great things with what you're doing. And then you brought this other special gift to us all in the form of her,
Yeah.
and I mean, I truly think like I was genuinely upset when I missed your birthday because I didn't know that there was I didn't know there was something going on.
I didn't.
No
I
one
didn't
told
know
me.
neither.
And that
we
really-
just went for a show at the Village, and it wasn't a birthday party.
But I know people like looked at it like that, and if I would have known that, that hurt my feelings because like I really wish, like not just us guys up there telling jokes or us girls up there telling jokes, like you mean so much to the comedy world that is the Quad Cities. Like, I feel like I messed up. Like I missed something that was important to me.
You didn't mess up.
But I missed something that was important to me. Like
I get it.
I
And
appreciate
a lot of
that.
the comedians were teasing her and giving her jokes, and Austin Ingalls, hilarious.
Oh,
he's like, "Hi, I'm Brian's seventh personality, and I'm one of the people who'll be banging his wife tonight." Or tag teaming his
Tag
wife.
teaming his wife, yeah. So,
Play off my joke.
it was good.
It was great.
He added it, but I didn't go there for a birthday party. I went there because Brian was having a open mic night, and I went there to support him. And I didn't even. I had my friends like, "Hey, you want to come down to support the Village?" My birthday is today. It's the date of my birth, but let's
We
go
did
in.
bingo the day before, though.
Yeah, we went to Mesquaki bingo. Is that
Yeah,
yeah,
Tang Island.
I go to
Sonoma?
Raccoon Motel for bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it rock and roll bingo?
No, dude. Like I just go. Like I love Adam Peters. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do.
Yeah, I love that guy so much. He's one of my closest friends. Like,
Yeah.
and so we go for bingo, mainly just to see his little beautiful Freddie Mercury looking face.
And they opened up another one in Dubuque, and it's
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah,
the
yeah.
Fox.
Yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
Fox.
Yeah.
So you'll have to see that too.
Well, I have a bladder ready to
Uh-oh.
burst. Brian, I think you made it as
yeah.
the third longest episode of all time. The other
Dude,
two.
I think we need to go to another hour
no, no.
because it was awesome. We didn't talk shit about you yet.
No, we don't. We don't need to do that. Do you need anything? Do you need anything super important to get off your chest right now before we wrap this thing up?
Do you feel
I'm
like
not
you?
looking at my notes.
Yeah,
Like we're at an hour. We're at an
Yeah.
hour and 40. This is
Yes.
pretty good.
you're gonna have people watching and trying to listen.
Yeah,
and-
we will have listen, we're not as popular as Lord of the Rings, where every show is an hour and a half.
I'm not going to remember
2.5.
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
It's
All right.
okay.
Well, wait, I did want to tell you this. Yeah, I actually started selling porn when I was in second grade.
What?
This is Shot 30 Podcast. I am Shay Tuber. That's Brian Farrell and
Yes.
Christina Farrell. We'll find out exactly why and how he started selling porn in the second or fourth grade.
The second.
Okay, on the next episode of Shot 30, when we have Brian back and we really discuss the nitty gritty important things of this podcast episode. I am Shay Newbert. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, all those things. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and they will both be back. I love you both very much, and
We
I
love
truly
you,
do
too.
mean that.
We love
Thanks
you
for
and
having
Timmery.
Yes.
Don't include her in this.
I love
She
her.
is a piece of crap.
Hey.
Stop.